The laughter echoed through the marble hallway before anyone realized how much damage a few careless words could do. The old janitor stood silently near the grand staircase, gripping a worn cleaning cart while a young maid rolled her eyes and mocked him in front of several staff members. To everyone in the mansion, he looked like an ordinary worker nearing retirement, someone invisible, someone unimportant. But within the next hour, one simple gesture, the removal of a faded hat, would leave an entire household speechless and change several lives forever. If you believe kindness matters, if you believe people deserve respect regardless of their appearance, take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs encouragement, leave a positive comment, and subscribe to the channel for more inspiring stories that remind us of the power of compassion and second chances. In the quiet suburbs of Charlotte, North Carolina, stood one of the most impressive estates in the region. The mansion belonged to Jonathan Hayes, a billionaire entrepreneur who had built a nationwide logistics company from a single delivery truck he purchased decades earlier. Despite his immense success, Jonathan never forgot the difficult years when he struggled to afford rent, slept in his office, and worked endless hours to keep his dreams alive. As his fortune grew, he became increasingly concerned that many people judged others solely by status and appearance. He wondered whether genuine character still mattered in a world obsessed with wealth. After returning from a lengthy overseas trip, Jonathan decided to conduct a personal experiment. Instead of announcing his arrival, he entered his own mansion wearing simple work clothes, an old jacket, and a weathered cap. Only his longtime estate manager, Michael Carter, knew the truth. Jonathan spent several weeks working alongside maintenance staff, gardeners, and cleaners. He wanted to observe how people treated those they believed had no influence or power. Most employees treated him with basic respect. Some greeted him warmly. Others barely noticed him. Yet one person stood out. Her name was Rachel Turner, a recently hired maid in her 20s. Rachel was efficient and hardworking, but she carried a habit that had followed her through much of her life. She often judged people quickly. She admired luxury, status, and prestige, believing success determined a person's worth. Whenever Rachel crossed paths with the elderly janitor, she displayed impatience. She complained when he moved too slowly. She dismissed his suggestions. Sometimes she spoke about him as though he were not standing a few feet away. Jonathan never responded with anger. He simply continued working quietly, observing her behavior and wondering what experiences had shaped her perspective. What Rachel never knew was that Jonathan noticed everything else about her too. He saw her exhaustion after long shifts. He noticed the way she sent part of every paycheck to support her widowed mother in Tennessee. He observed moments when her natural kindness appeared unexpectedly, helping coworkers or comforting nervous new employees. Beneath her harsh judgments was a person carrying financial stress, insecurity, and fear of failure. One rainy afternoon, preparations began for an important charity gala hosted at the mansion. Local leaders, business executives, and community organizations were expected to attend. Staff members rushed through hallways making final arrangements. Rachel was determined to impress the guests and possibly earn a promotion. As she hurried through the main foyer, she spotted the old janitor adjusting decorations near the entrance. Frustrated by the busy schedule, she publicly mocked him, suggesting that someone so insignificant should stay out of the way while important people handled important work. Several nearby employees grew uncomfortable, but no one spoke. Jonathan lowered his eyes and quietly stepped aside. An hour later, luxury vehicles filled the driveway. Distinguished guests entered the mansion, greeting one another warmly. Rachel stood proudly among the staff, confident she was making a strong impression. Then an unexpected silence swept across the room. Michael approached the front staircase and welcomed everyone. He thanked the guests for attending and announced that the evening's host had finally arrived after weeks of preparation. To Rachel's confusion, Michael walked directly toward the elderly janitor. The room watched as Jonathan slowly removed his faded hat. Gasps spread throughout the crowd. The man everyone believed was a simple janitor was revealed to be Jonathan Hayes himself, the billionaire owner of the estate, the founder of a company employing thousands of people, and the philanthropist responsible for funding countless community programs. Rachel felt the color drain from her face. Every dismissive remark, every judgment, every moment of disrespect replayed in her mind. She expected immediate termination. She expected humiliation. Instead, Jonathan calmly addressed the gathering. He spoke about dignity. He spoke about the value of character. He shared stories from his early years when people overlooked him because of his appearance. Then he gently reminded everyone that true greatness is revealed not by how we treat powerful people, but by how we treat those who seem unable to offer anything in return. The words struck Rachel harder than any punishment could have. In the days that followed, Rachel requested a private meeting. She accepted responsibility for her behavior and expressed genuine remorse. Jonathan listened carefully. He saw sincerity in her eyes. Rather than ending her employment, he offered guidance and mentorship. He challenged her to become someone who measured people by their hearts instead of their circumstances. Months passed. Rachel embraced the lesson completely. She became one of the most respected employees on the estate, known for encouraging others and welcoming every worker with kindness. The experience transformed not only her career but also her understanding of human worth. Before this story ends, leave a comment below and tell us, have you ever been judged unfairly because of your appearance, job, or circumstances? Years later, Rachel often reflected on that unforgettable day. She realized the greatest gift Jonathan gave her was not forgiveness alone. It was the opportunity to change. His compassion turned a painful mistake into a life lesson that shaped her future. And Jonathan's experiment proved something powerful: respect should never depend on wealth, titles, or appearances. Every person carries a story, a struggle, and a value that cannot be measured by what the world sees on the surface. If this story touched your heart, inspired you, or reminded you of the importance of kindness, please support the video with a like, share it with friends and family, and subscribe for more uplifting stories. Sometimes one act of understanding can change a life forever, and sometimes the people we underestimate end up teaching us the most important lessons of all.